Everyone loves a good underdog story, because not only can we usually relate to the struggles of the everyday average Joe, but watching someone who is looked down upon rise up and succeed is inspiring and hype to watch. It seems fitting then that the anime I'm going to talk about today is itself somewhat of an underdog, coming out of seemingly nowhere as a sleeper hit people are hooking onto. Created in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the manga Ashita no Joe, and serving as an original re-envisioned version of the story, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present what may be this season's hypest anime, Megalo Box. The world of Megalo Box is a dark and gritty one, taking place in a futuristic setting where there are two types of people: those with citizenship, who live in a wealthy city area, and those without it, who live in the poverty-filled slums. However, though people live quite literally divided by class, there is one thing that brings everybody together, and that is Megalo Boxing. A popular sport similar to boxing, except the boxers fight while wearing metal arms attached to them. This, of course, makes their attacks much more lethal and the fights much more brutal. The protagonist of the series is Underdog, a young man from the slums who participates in underground illegal boxing matches and, much to his own dismay, reluctantly throws the fights whenever his coach directs him to lose. After getting into a heated argument with Yuri, the top-ranked Megalo boxer, and getting easily beaten by the champ in an unofficial fight, Underdog finds new purpose in life when Yuri tells him to fight him again in Megalonia, a huge Megalo boxing event. Filled with excitement to challenge his rival once more, and backed by the mob boss responsible for his throne matches, Underdog enters Megalonia with the moniker of Joe. And so, with his sleazy coach Nanbu and a young orphan named Sachio in his corner, Joe sets out to battle the odds and make his way to the top of the Megalo Box rankings in order to have a chance of fighting in Megalonia. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that premise is amazing. However, if that alone isn't enough for you, allow me to point out other things about this show that are also great. First of all, let's start with the writing. Not only does the show do a good job with creating an interesting universe and an intriguing premise, but it does a great job of giving us a cool story that you actually root for. You know how I started this whole thing off by talking about underdog stories? Well, what is really well done in the show is that there is always another hurdle to overcome for Joe/Underdog on his journey to the top. While other shows try to have roadblocks for the hero, but they come off as feeling like more of a minor nuisance, since the hero will probably just power up and win, here the series does a good job of legitimately making it seem as if Joe is always at a disadvantage. From having to forge a fake ID just to enter the Megalonia rankings, to people refusing to take him seriously due to where he comes from, Joe is, and continues to be, the underdog to those around him. This is great though, because not only does it take good writing and good story moments to keep this up in the series, but it also makes his victories feel that much more earned, therefore endearing Joe to the audience in both the show and real life. You wanna know another cool thing about this show? The soundtrack. Composed by hip-hop artist Mabanua? I hope I'm saying his name right. Every song in the show is absolutely great, and the soundtrack just goes so well with the series. I mean, you take the gritty look of the world of Megalo Box and put it together with the hip-hop sound and occasional Japanese rapping, and it flows really good. I don't really know how much I can showcase, because of how copyright can be, but trust me when I say that this is one of those soundtracks that you stop and go, wow, I really hope they release that someday so I can actually own it. Moving on, this next one is a bit of a double-edged sword, as while it is something that I and many others see as a positive, others see as a negative aspect of the show. I am of course talking about the low definition look. While it is basically industry standard to strive for the most crystal clear high definition look, Megalo Box ignores all that and purposely downsamples itself to give off a more retro appearance. Personally, I love the look, as not only does it remind me of all the 90s anime that's come to pass, but also because I feel like an unpolished appearance goes really well with the gritty world. However, I can perfectly understand if someone does not like it, since it is a pretty bold choice to intentionally handicap the quality of a show. Still, if you're the kind of person who likes the look of older anime and enjoys the meta parallel between both the main character and the anime itself choosing to do things the hard way, this probably won't be an issue. However, while we are on the subject of issues with the show, let me just go ahead and talk about the fact that the anime portrays boxing rather poorly. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, but the show is more character driven than sports driven, so don't expect to hear a bunch of boxing lingo or discussion of in-depth techniques. Not only that, but I'll openly admit that it can end up feeling like more of a slugfest than actual boxing. So yeah, if you're a boxing fanatic, this might not be the one for you. With that being said though, while it is a bit rough around the edges, I do still feel that this anime holds up. Featuring killer music, a cool retro presentation, and a really great underdog story, I would definitely recommend it. Sure, it may not be the best portrayal of the world of boxing, but if you can look past that and enjoy it for being a cool story about a man fighting the odds to prove to the world that he means something, then I think you'll like it. But hey, that's just my opinion. And remember, don't take anything I say too seriously. After all, I'm just a wannabe reviewer. Thanks for watching.
Let's go, let's go. あいつはやべえ、むき出しの本性。尊上、空のやつには真似できない根性。目指せ上。